Good evening, everyone. Here we are cooking with Gigi, and I'm planning a big meal for tomorrow evening to thank some people for things they do for me. My brother Mike and my friend John and Mike's wife and another friend's coming over. So I'm gonna make my brother's favorite things, and one of them is fresh green beans. Now I have washed these, I've broken the green beans and washed them. And then I dried them with a towel. I put them in a towel and got them good and dry. Then I started up this big skillet full of I put a little olive oil in there, and then I took the green beans and started sauteing the fresh green beans in the olive oil. It's a little different than I used to do it years ago. So I've also added a small onion. So it has a small onion in there. As you can see, now what I was trying to accomplish is to get a little bit of brownness on the green beans and just kind of start getting them bright green looking. And they're at that point now. Now, right after I did that, I did add approximately 4 cloves of garlic, but it was wet garlic. So sometimes I use that, it's easier. Sometimes I use real garlic, but I did put a little garlic. And I added a little butter when I did that, just to kind of give the garlic some fresh fat to kind of brown in and get smelling really good, get that aroma. And I've been adding some salt and pepper. I'm adding freshly ground pepper, and then I added about half a teaspoon of salt. And the reason I didn't want to add too much salt is I'm using this better than bouillon, which is chicken broth. So chicken broth is really good in green beans, just enough to give it a little flavor. So I did do that. I did mix that up with some hot water, and I've already added a few splashes of it in there. And so now I'm letting my beans kind of saute and cook. Now I am to the point where I want to add some bacon bits. These bacon bits are the ones from Sam's, and they are actual crumbles. They're not fake. They're good bacon bits. So I have reached in here and grabbed a spoon, and I'm just going to kind of guesstimate how many I'm going to add. I don't know. I just kind of, however many you like. It depends on how many beans you're cooking. So there's a couple of tablespoons, I'd say. I'm probably going to put about 4 tablespoons of these, the ham bits, the bacon bits, sorry. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stir it in a little bit, and it's looking pretty yummy. I don't know if you can see that very good or not, but let me bring this over here so that you can get a good look at it. That's what they look like. Got some bacon, fresh green beans. I started it out in olive oil. Okay, so that's about where we are right now. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of my better bouillon broth, chicken broth. And if you wanna use regular chicken broth, do that. I just find having this around is so convenient that when I'm ready to cook, I can just pull it out of the refrigerator and make some broth. I'm gonna put a lid on it, and I'm gonna turn it, down to about in between medium and low, or a little bit like medium, just a little bit below medium. I'm gonna let that cook for a few minutes, and then I will come back and we'll see how we're doing with it. Oh, by the way, so the rest of the meal is gonna be fried chicken, especially chicken breast, and I'm gonna go ahead and make some wings and thighs also. And we're gonna have mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna make my homemade crescent rolls. And I did start a video on that, but it takes a couple days to make those because you have to let them sit in the refrigerator and rise. So tomorrow I'll be working on those rolls. And I'm hoping to get an apple pie made. I know I've put a lot on my plate, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so the green beans are still cooking. I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the chicken broth, because it was starting to get a little dry. I don't want to get it too wet. I just want to keep it moist. Keep the lid on. That will steam it until they're cooked really good. They're looking perfect though. I'm pretty excited. Okay, I'll be right back. While I'm waiting for these green beans to finish cooking, I wanted to tell you a couple of ideas for green beans. One thing I love to do is I love to make my green beans and put smoked sausage in little potatoes. Like you can do red potatoes, any kind of potatoes. You can take a regular Idaho potato and just cut it in some chunks, pretty good size. And I would just add the potatoes in with the green beans when I'm starting to do the beginning cooking of them. But as far as the smoked sausage, I usually like to kind of put that in a separate skillet with just a little olive oil and brown the sausage a little bit. Add the sausage to the green beans once they get completely cooked. Then you have a delicious green bean sausage and potato dish, which is something you can warm up and have, or you can have friends over. It's a nice thing to have when you have a big family coming. Okay, we're gonna check on the green beans again in a minute. Well, my green beans are pretty much done. Now, if you don't want your green beans to be too tender, you can stop cooking them at whatever point you like them. If you like them a little crisp. But I know for a fact my brother likes them cooked well done and tender. So I'm gonna take a little bite. Oh yeah. Nice tender green bean. So anyway, this is what the green beans look like. And they're about done. Delicious. Green beans with bacon. Yummy. Okay, well, thank you very much for tuning in again with Cooking with Gigi. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, so be sure you subscribe to my videos. I would really appreciate it. Have a great day.